Hello everyone, and thanks for jumping on to another Kodak Info Input Solution short. Today I want to have a look at regular expressions and how we can use those with our software to better perform extraction and become more accurate. So I've already submitted a batch which has gone through the extraction process and is now ready for indexing. So I open up my batch menu, I can select a specific indexing task, and I've got a special job called Invoice Regex, specifically for demonstrating our regular expression. So I've got a few documents in this particular batch. In this case, we have 6 different invoices. We'll just have a quick look at those. So I've got a really basic generic invoice here. I've got one from Optus. I've got one from a tap supplier. If we look here, we also have a Jetstar invoice. And finally, I have one from Telstra. So with all of these invoices, of course, we're going to expect to see an ABN, which is what I'm looking to extract today. One of the complexities of this particular type of document being an invoice is that it is semi-structured. So we know that the ABNs are going to be on the page. We just don't know exactly where on the page. Now, in this instance, for all of these invoices, I know that the ABN is in the top third of the page. So I'm going to be using that area of the page to extract the ABN. So if we go to our indexing screen now, I'll select my first document. Now we can see that the zone that was used for the ABN is quite large. If we look to the right-hand side, we have one indexing field for this job, and that happens to be the ABN. And we can see that we've extracted that successfully from this document. If I scroll to the next invoice, we can see that the ABN in this case is in a totally different position. It's still within the bounds of this particular OCR zone. Once again, however, we do have the correct ABN extracted, despite the fact that that data has moved. Once again, if I keep scrolling through these different invoices, we can see that the ABN has been successfully extracted despite the fact that it's in a different position of the page. One thing also to note is that the ABN is identified slightly differently depending on the supplier. So in this case, we can see we have the ABN and then a colon. If I go to my Telstra invoice, we can see that it just has the word ABN and then a space. Further up here, we can see we have an A.B.N. So different suppliers will use different means or different representations of the ABN. Despite all of these different variations, we've successfully extracted the piece of information that we were looking for. So using a regular expression for this particular indexing field on extraction, which I can configure through my job configuration with Info Input, I've been able to very specifically identify where the ABN is within the text that will have been extracted in this rather large field, and extracted the specific piece of information that I need consistently out of all of these documents. So we can set these regular expressions on a per indexing field basis. In this case, we've only had to do it with 1, but perhaps we might have 10. Thanks for watching.
Kodak Alaris makes sense.